What's up, everyone? We are here for another episode of Spin from the Reel. Once again, I am Matt, and joining me, as always, is the personality himself, Chris Anthony Lopez.
Look, brother, happy Monday, first of all. Happy day after Valentine's Day. Is it Singles Awareness Day? Is that what this is?
Oh, no.
It's not. Was that Saturday?
No, Saturday was Desperation Day.
Ah, yeah, word. Well, I didn't do shit that day either. Well, what's going on, brother? I hope you're good. My God, the weather out here in Oklahoma just came out of nowhere.
Oh, we're getting hit with a 9 to 12-inch snowstorm right now in Ohio. So,
so you got what we were getting. Like that was
possibly.
That was, dude. It was a mess. But look, I feel good. I got my yellow drink. We're out here rocking, having a good time. We're gonna talk some Schmodown, baby.
Yeah, we're finally here this week. Season begins technically.
Season 8.
Season 8 begins. We'll have the 1 week because this match from this week will go live next week. But I'm excited, ready to watch Schmodown. I'm really happy. Cheddar Goblin, happy Polar Vortex, fellas. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But we have a special guest today, and I'm going to let Chris do the honors of introducing him because I'm looking forward to this.
Look, I'm not even going to front. Like, if y'all watch this show, if y'all are even familiar with the program, y'all know I am one corrupt boy. I love corruption. I've been a fan of corruption for a while now. And this man, he is a former 2-time champion. I mean, he is a 3-division threat, arguably the best player in the entire damn Schmodown. And I mean, this man doesn't even need an introduction. Honestly, he is the Cobra, Chance Ellison. Bring my man on. What is going on, dude?
I need to have that kind of introduction on every show I go on from now on. That was great. Good job.
Call me, bro. Call me.
I'm bringing on every after show I go on now.
I'll just do the intro and leave. That's all.
Yeah, that's all I need you for. So.
Word, no, totally. What's going on, brother?
Not much, man. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on the program.
Sir. Pleasure's all ours. I mean, granted, Chris has been on this push that Christian should let the after shows host the matches. That's Chris's belief.
For real. Like, imagine me, like, biasly calling a Chance Ellison match. That'd be crazy. Like that'd
be great. I mean, my father, Mark Ellis, is already on the hosting board, so that you can kind of see that as bias, but
no, and totally. I mean, if Mark and I were doing it together, then it'd be just you. You probably get all the points.
Probably, yeah. There we go.
Yeah. So look, Chance. I mean, I know we'll talk this season in a second, and all the corruption craziness that's been going on in the last year, but I mean, dude, how is it being Chance Ellison in the Schmodown, honestly?
How's it being me?
Because you get talked about so much, and you are the object of scrutiny and of so much love, depending on who you ask in the Schmodown. So being the Cobra and being who you are within corruption, how is that for you in like the last 3 or 4 years you've been a part of this?
It's definitely a different experience when I first started. Because when I first started, I was just Mike's partner. Like that's all I had to do. I had to come on, and like when I saw that I can play, and then they started like do my own stuff. And I feel like this is the year where I really started like emerge as like, oh no, I'm more than just Mike's partner. And I thought that was really really good for me personally. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love teaming with Mike, one of the best partners in the game. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy coming in to the match, especially in my position where I'm like one of the younger, if not, I'm not the youngest anymore, but I am one of the youngest in the league right now, and I can go toe to toe with just about anybody. So right. It gives there's a lot of factors it gives me. Like, it gives me a good intimidation factor. It gives me a good people sleep on me. You do that, you're gonna regret it in the end. So keep doing it. But no, yeah, man, I love that I've been able to do what I've been able to do in this league, and I'm not stopping here.
I know Chris has been on that Chance 3 belts train for a while now.
It's tough, man. It is not easy.
There was a second where like you could have been Chance 3 belts.
I could have been, yeah.
And it was I mean, I'd come on the show every week talking about like, yo, like Chance, if anyone's gonna do it, it's gonna be Chance. Like, and I know we've had some new faces come up since then, and we've had a lot of emerging stars since then, but like still, and at this point, like you may have lost the tag belts to Shazam, but damn, that was one match, and you're gonna come back into this season with a whole new energy, and that Chandru match, like, you good, bro?
No, I'm
No,
good.
it's-
I was clicking my mute button and my phone was over. So good.
No, you're good, brother.
Yeah.
But I mean, you've gotten so damn close, and just to think that you came from a fan league, you were the first
Yeah.
dude to come from a fan league,
It was,
and here you
yeah.
are.
Paved the way for all you brothers to come in the league and take belts and get matches.
Yeah,
So
I
you're
wish
welcome,
that was the case.
everybody.
But like coming into the season, I believe was it season 5 when you first showed up, when you first made your debut.
Yeah, 5.
So when you first popped in, and you're just coming off of a fan league. Nope. At least us, the viewer, we didn't know who you are unless you watched the fan league.
Middle of the season.
Nobody. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I came in midway, the biggest story on the season. Teaming up with arguably the biggest personality of that season.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy, and yeah, like I remember seeing it was funny. I remember a lot of people thought like I was like Mark in disguise. People were like Ellison. But yeah, so like it was being that unknown factor, and it's crazy because like Christian, like behind the scenes, like hyped me up big time, like really well. It was like, oh god, like people wanted to know like what was up, which is why the first match I think was maybe my biggest studio audience I've had. No, not the biggest one because I think the one that when I played Shire was bigger than that. So, but yeah, coming into the environment being just like this unknown quantity, like at 20 years old, nonetheless, like it was nuts. But you know, you go in. I did what I was trained to do, which is answer questions about movies, and yeah, here I am now, 3 seasons and 2 belts later.
Yeah, 2 belts. I'm not the curve. I'm hoping to see more belts on Chance Ellison's shoulder. So.
Yo, dude, and the run that you've made and the impact that you've made, not only as like a rookie coming in from the fan league, but of someone of color too. And Matt and I talk about this all the time. Like there weren't too many brothers on the show. There weren't too many sisters on the show either.
That's kind of how I reached out to Chance. I'm like, how can 2 brothers get you on their show?
Oh my god, all I gotta do is damn brother, don't sweat it.
But did you like? I mean, obviously you were a fan of the Schmodown before you jumped in, but did you feel any pressure behind that? Like that you're representing a certain community because of it, because of who you are, and the fact that you were so young. You were 20 years old. I was 20 when I was watching you do that stuff. So, like, did you feel any pressure because you are a competitor of color, because you are who you are?
No, honestly, the age thing weighed on me more because I was competing with people who are like anywhere from like 10 to 20 years older than me. And as well what up? It might be probably Shig. What up, Shig?
What's going on, Shig?
But yeah, so it was more the age thing and the fact that like I was in a place where I had to deliver because it's like, okay, if I blow this, I'm never coming back here.
Right.
So yeah, I had to set up there and yeah, just be a good partner. But like yeah, the age thing was weighing on me more, but also. But like the fact that I do get to be like a good example of a black player in this league. Like I was the first and only black competitor to ever hold a belt in this league, and I think that means something.
That's a crazy ass.
I'm happy that I could be the first to do that.
No, like you'll always be in the books because of that too.
Yeah,
it means a lot because like. Part of the reason I have a decent relationship with Winston. I talk shit to Jay Washington because he fucked over my Browns going to the AFC Championship.
Wait, Jay specifically did?
So I'm from Cleveland.
Yeah, Jay,
I'm from Cleveland. I've heard you're a Steelers fan, but you know how in Cleveland we have that perpetual mentality of don't talk about it because you're gonna jinx us.
Oh, okay.
When Patrick Mahomes was announced out with the concussion for the rest of the game, Jay Washington tweeted, "Oh my God, look, it's your AFC champion Cleveland Browns."
But he didn't count on Chad Henne magic?
Nah, he did not. and I tweeted at him, "Jay, I'm from Cleveland. Don't jinx us." And then Winston has the receipt. Jay deleted the tweet after the fact when we lost. And Winston took that screenshot for me. Winston's got the screenshot for me.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So I have issues with Jay Washington currently, and I hope he whooped his ass this week.
Yeah. That's definitely the goal. Just to be, I don't care about the whole thing. I just got to be in line with Jay Washington.
Or like that. Like, you don't have to win. You just got to beat Jay.
Just got to beat Jay because he's on top right now. He won the last match.
Word.
Granted, he was up against a less than stellar competition. Love you, Winston, but let's be real. But so now you got to bring in the big guns. Try and take him
right.
And before we get into the main matches, I want to talk to you about this because you are a part of this match. It's you versus your faction mate, Clee Wiggins, Janine the Machine, and Jay. How are you feeling going into that real quick?
I feel really great, honestly. Like, the thing with exhibition match is the fact that the kind of matches where you can just take it easy. Like, I remember my first exhibition match, I took that like way too seriously. And I'm just like, you know what? This time I'm just gonna go in. I'm gonna have fun. And I feel like I'm confident enough with my knowledge, but where like I'll pull something great. I guarantee you.
No, and you guys, and corruption has just been this this force, and I know we want to talk about
well-oiled machine.
Yeah, and all of you guys have just contributed in a certain way to your faction. That's why you won last season. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
I know you were a big part of that. But I want to talk about Shannon for a second, because Shannon came into this. Obviously, everyone knew of her because of her connection with Mike. But how has she affected you as a player? And what has she done to help improve your game? Because you were already competing, already out here doing your thing, and then Shannon comes in as your manager, and the whole game changes essentially, just around the league.
Yeah, I give credit. I give Shannon a lot of credit. I tell her all the time, because the first time I met her, she was just she came to support and do nothing else. She's like, I'm not gonna go on camera. I'm not gonna. You're gonna see me compete in this thing. I'm not gonna do it. But then when the idea of manager, her being our manager, floated out there, it's just like I'm impressed with how well she's taken to this role of hers. She's always talking. She likes to keep in contact with competitors. She's very not micromanaging. She's very hands-on type of manager, which I like a lot. She always likes to make sure we're on top of it. We always likes to make sure that we're on our A game.
Yeah,
that we feel as comfortable as possible going into every match. So yeah, I think that working with Shannon's definitely elevated not just mine, but a lot of our games. She was able, a lot of the things a lot of the work we put in, Shannon was a big drive behind that. So yeah, I give her an insane amount of credit for what she did for us this season.
Because holy shit, y'all had one hell of a season 7. Not only between you and Mike, but the bringing in Adam Collins into the fold and him having the run that he had from the singles tournament on. And as someone who came in as a rook from a fan league, watching Collins do what he did, how was that weird for you to see damn, that this guy coming in halfway through the season and he's out here making history, but with me on our faction with corruption, that's some real shit. What was your reaction to Collins when you first met him?
Yeah, the first time I met him was after Shannon recruited him. I remember hearing that Shannon was really high on him. Just okay, if that's what you feel like, then we'll take him. He said I first met him when we were prepping for IG that season.
Tournament?
Yeah, for the tournament.
Okay.
And yeah, the guy that what I saw from Adam after that made me realize this dude's a serious competitor. He's a really great asset to the team because he's always down to put in work, even for division not competing in. He was at about every one of our after he was recruited, he was at every single one of our IG sessions. We're constantly doing team sessions, single sessions. We'll all do Star Wars sessions. He'll be a part of for when we had Laura Kelly last season. But yeah, the dude he's a team player through and through, and I was really happy to see the sense he had last season.
Okay, and y'all coming in here like a ball of fire, going into season 8. I mean, y'all had a lot of retention from last season.
We did. That was kind of the goal, honestly.
Yeah, and not too many factions can say that they have a lot of the same folks from season 7 going into season 8. So before,
I think the only one who has a chance at saying that is Winston. They probably have the second most returning players.
Yeah.
I think so.
But corruption, now on paper, it's damn, who did you guys do? There weren't too many, but you do have some additions in the process.
We do, yeah.
after the draft and after y'all had all these new faces come in, like what was the feel? Like obviously y'all added Sean Sullivan, y'all added Joseph Scrimshaw. So as someone who has made an impact in the league in such a short amount of time at such a young age, and now you're out here, I don't want to say co-running, but you're doing a lot of stuff within your faction to help improve these players. Like so, getting these new faces, like were y'all just amped, like because following last season, following that formula, coming into season 8.
Yeah, we wanted players who were willing to work for us and who we wanted to get better. And we feel like we took we took one rookie, Jacob London, who was really excited to join us. Really excited to be on the team and really excited to be a part of have us be a part of his inaugural processes. Sean, who got a really bad taste about it last season, so he like I said on other shows, he didn't want to go back to the den. He wanted to go to the fact was going to let him win, and so he came to the right place. Same thing with James. Like he's wanted to escape the den model, come to someone who's going to build him up and make him a beast. And this is the faction to do that. So I'm excited to have all these new faces. I'm also excited to have all these returning faces. You have Clea and Mark and Claudia, 3 players who didn't get to showcase what they could do last season. So I'm excited that they're going to come in and hopefully get some opportunities because the 3 of them are really, really solid players that I think a lot of people are going to sleep on, and they're going to regret it because I think they're going to do really well.
Hell yeah, dude! I'm so excited to watch all this season. Like Matt said this at the top of the show. Like I'm such a corruption stan. It's not even funny. But y'all obviously are doing something right. Y'all won last season, and this season, there's not too much change. And even the change y'all did make, y'all had a kick-ass draft. So it's gonna be one hell of a season to watch for you and for everyone at Corruption. So my God.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. One of my highest rated rookies, because of him being the first ever fan league champion, was Jacob London. And for you guys to get him where you got him, I was like, okay. Oh, I was shocked he fell that far.
So are we. We got him round 4? No,
6.
We got him round 6. Yeah, we didn't have 2 picks for the first 2 rounds.
And getting Marisol, Marisol sounds like such a key to y'all's success. Because obviously Shannon went out she traded the first 2 picks and brought Marisol back, and obviously y'all had your own plan to bring as many faces back as you can by any means necessary. And from Shannon's point of view, she got her top 5 with the exception of Laura Kelly. Right. So y'all are still rocking. And Joseph Scrimshaw and Sean Sullivan aren't slouches in Star Wars either.
No, I mean if you watch Scrimshaw's last match, he was 1 word away from beating Demolanta.
Right. And Demolanta has a damn Star Wars match in a couple weeks.
Yeah, the dude's a beast. And
we were in Chicago. We saw Scrimshaw live when he was playing Damon for the title, and it's just like he fell. Okay, proven talent just plummeted and fell right near laps.
I was on the phone with Shannon throughout the entire draft. Where I'm looking like, if he's there, I mean, take him.
Yeah, and the fact that y'all had such a stellar draft. With y'all not having a pick until the 4th round.
Yeah, you're behind the 8 ball.
We were, but I had faith. A lot of people were good. I thought people were going to be loyal to a fault. I was the opposite of that. People were going to be rookie hungry, which was exciting. But it did enable us to enact the draft strategy because we like the team, and like people said before, Corruption, we're building a dynasty. You can shuffle your rosters all you want, but it's not going to be enough to beat us because, like you said, we are a well-oiled machine, and we got the bulk of the pieces back together. So,
right,
yeah, take your rookies. We're still going to beat you in the end.
And just so if we can, take the sunglasses and the hat off. I know we already took the sunglasses off, but who do you like watching the Shmoan, if I may ask? Aside from your faction, aside from Corruption, obviously, are you a fan of anybody? Just if you can say so.
Outside my faction, you mean?
Outside of your faction, yeah.
I do like watching Dan because Dan I've been watching Australia since I was in high school. So the fact that I get to work so closely with Dan and hang out with him behind the scenes, that was really cool for me. People I like watching.
Or just say you're a fan of.
Huh?
Yeah.
Or a fan of, yeah, of course. Who else am I a fan of? That's a good question.
So Chance doesn't like anybody but Dan. Like
No,
that.
you know what? I'm a fan of Kevin. I guess that I've always liked that dude. Yeah, I like watching him play. You know what? It sucks that he's not gonna be around because Warfather always made me laugh when he was in the ring.
Word.
Like we'll still like always reference like Alphonse in our group sessions. I think that's great. I like watching Bibbs for the entrance portion because I think he puts together the best entrances I've ever seen in the league. Which Jan's a big fan of Ben Goddard. Oh, the hugest fan of Ben Goddard. Love the guy. We're heels.
Yeah, we are heels to this day, and nothing's
to this day we are heels.
You still gotta love how they edited that out of the match, but they still put it in the bloopers.
Blooper was the best part, but movie guys are always a joy to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yo, but I mean, we have a ton of matches to get through. Chance, I don't know how much time you got in your hands.
I have no heart out, so
I got one last question before we get to the matches that we're going to talk about this week, because this is a match we talked about last week, and it involves his faction mate, and that's Marisol. So the pressure's on her early on in the season. It seems like Christian wanted to take the storyline of that trade and put it in the front and center. That's the first singles match we're getting this season. You guys making sure she's prepped for that, or because and history shows if she loses this match, there's a chance we may not see her in singles until possibly the tournament, maybe.
Possibly.
So,
but yeah, no, I mean, when you trade multiple picks for one player, you got to make sure that it's a player who's going to deliver. We think Marisol will deliver. I think Vinny's a great entry-level partner for her, or entry-level opponent for her. He's solid. You have to be an impressive win if she pulls it out. But I think she has the juice to take him down, and we've already been prepping, we've already been working for it, and yeah, I honestly do believe that she's ready for it.
Yes, I like hearing that. And I forgot, Boggs would kill me if I didn't ask this, because our buddy Boggs from the Ultimate Schmodown show, he's in England, couldn't watch live.
Boggs. Yeah.
Yes, he couldn't watch live. He's like, Matt, ask this question for me. I'm making you do it.
Oh, boy.
Chance, who do you want revenge against the most? LSM, Chandru, or Shazam?
Oh damn.
That's tough. Huh.
Damn, who are you most bitter towards?
I'm pretty sure that answer would be Chandru.
Actually, no.
Really?
You'd be surprised. No.
After that hell of a run you had in Interdictum last year, like that was
after all the trash talk he gave you and all that, I'm shocked.
No, you think I'm concerned with someone like Chandru? The dude talks because, like I said, he knows he'd be irrelevant if that league didn't exist. So fine, I'm willing to sit and let him run his mouth and take his belts. Yeah, I'll admit he did take it to me. I wasn't ready. I wasn't willing to take that belt from him. But when I am, and when I decide that I do want that belt, you're gonna lose it, buddy.
I love this fire. Hell yeah.
But
talk your shit.
Between who I want, who I'm more bitter at, I feel like I'm more bitter at Liz, because it looks like she didn't want to beat me all that badly. And I still lost.
She's so chill. Like she's
chill. She shows how
the silent assassin, Liz Shannon Miller.
Yeah, so I am bitter at Shazam, but I want to beat them both individually first, which I might get the chance to do that later.
Yes.
But yeah, I do have a grudge against Shazam, but I probably have a bigger grudge against Liz Shannon Miller, although Shazam's pretty high up there.
Fair. I like I said, I knew Boggs would kill me if I didn't ask that question for him. But no, and you're right. You do have a chance. Well, you already have a chance to knock out one member of Shazam. I don't know if you touched on this, Chris, because that right now is honestly my most anticipated match, you versus the Kid, because it's two of the younger faces of this league going up against each other for possibly, and I know Christian's hinted at this, the winner of that might be playing for a number one contender spot. We don't know yet.
Be a crazy leap. It'd be a crazy leap. I mean, but yeah, that'd be nice. But look, that's the one league that's evaded me since I started this league. Granted, mostly because I got like kneecapped from the jump, and I just never fully recovered.
You had some stiff competition when you started.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Like-
Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah, so like I wouldn't hold that against you.
No, I know, but yeah, that's all. I've never been satisfied with my performance in singles, like despite the fact that I'm consistently one of like the higher ranked player, like just based on my gameplay, it hasn't translated to wins.
Right.
So this season I want to start translating that to wins, and Brent has to be the first step on that. He's the first step.
Oh God, I can't wait. I
I
cannot
respect
wait.
that. I respect it.
On the show last week, I think I said that it was like these are two guys that are like part of the future of the league. Like both of y'all. Like Chance, I know you've been in this, and Brendan's been in this for a while, but y'all are still so young. At least compared to some of the other stars that made their name in the Schmodown since season 1,
Right.
going back all the way that far, and then whoever's still around season 2 even. But both of y'all, like that's like it's the kid and the cobra, and both of y'all are just the spearhead of what's going on going forward. So that's gonna be one hell of a match to watch. Good luck, brother. I'm rooting for you. Just know that. At least one of us is. So
I'm sorry. I love this one of those matches where I'm like I could be. It's the 2016 World Series for me because my first ever baseball game was at Wrigley Field. I've been a Cubs fan ever since, but I'm from Cleveland, so it's like I win and I lose either way.
and it's funny enough because I mean the team I was rooting for won that year. So I mean, Chance, like you got luck on your side, brother. Holy shit.
Thank you.
But let's talk some matches because we have a ton that were announced. Yeah, there's too many to be honest, but we will just run them through. And I mean, Chance, obviously you know a lot of these folks, you've seen a lot of these folks play, and I'd love your insight on all of these if you can.
Of course.
But the second that we start bugging you, you'd be like, yeah, I'm out, and I would not blame you at all. But Matt, go ahead. Let's start this, brother.
All right, so the first match we got is Brandon Hanna versus Eric Zipper.
Inner geekdom to be exact.
Yes, Inner Geekdom.
Funny thing is like both these people coming in with considerably different training staff than they had before.
Yeah,
Right.
With Zip, you got Swag, and with Hannah, you got Roxy in her training regimen. And I know I've talked to Winston. I have an idea of how he trains. I don't know how Roxy trains though.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon played last time with the dreaded element with head coach, do the dreaded element that was Ken Knapsack, but I do think that I'm very curious to see what Roxy's like as a manager. I've never known for sure, but I'm like, what is she like behind the scenes? I don't know. I'm curious. I don't know if I want to find out, but I mean, she seems to be like a calming presence in the ring, which it's never been a problem for Brandon. I've never seen him get like so like in his head he's taking himself out of a match. Like I've seen Snyder and Drago both do that, but I've never seen Hannah do that. So I'm very curious to see what Roxy brings to his style of gameplay. On the other side, you got Zipper, who I guess is going to get an attitude adjustment a la Paulo Yama.
Right.
It might maybe not right away. Christian kind of hinted at we're going to see that storyline we never got to see completed last year of Winston and Zipper butting heads. And
I mean, if Winston wanted to do the storyline, he'd draft Zipper and just bench him for the year.
And like if he loses, like you're done. Like,
just out of spite, just draft him just to put him on the bench.
Well, funny enough, we had Winston. I said, funny enough, we had Winston on last week, and he's like, nobody knows Zip better than me in this entire league.
No, that's true.
I'm going to get
That's
the best out of him.
But at the same time, if he loses, he might get benched for the year. But both of these guys, they both went awfully high in the draft. And their skill sets are awfully similar. They both play all 3 divisions. Not as good as some competitors here on the screen.
I mean, one plays 2 divisions. We get to see Hannah in singles, but I
thought we saw Hannah in singles once.
We didn't. No teams.
Well, he's totally capable of playing singles if he wants.
If you can play teams, you can play singles. Like,
totally.
So it's not like a massive jump. So again, I'd pay to see it happen, but it's not like a massive jump to go from team to singles.
But Inner Geekdom's is bread and butter, obviously.
Yeah, that's where he made his name.
Yeah, and he's had a lot of success in it. He prides on that accuracy percentage, which obviously has got him so many belts in the meantime. But like the fact that he's facing Zipper has a chip on his shoulder because he could have beat freaking Ethan Irwin last season. Like he was so close, and I mean, you run into a wall like Ethan. I mean, like you're one to know. So the fact that Zip had to end the season like that but now he's coming in with a whole new ball of energy, a whole new change of scenery, and like what you said, Chance, the dungeon reunion between him and Oyama from a long time ago, like that's on the back of his brain too. So I don't know how he's going to approach this character-wise. If you want to break down that wall, but gameplay, people were touting Zipper to be like the shit going into this year. And if Winston had anything to say about it last week, he said he might be one of the better players this year.
Only a brick wall can stop you. There's Mike Kalinowski.
That too. Hell yeah, brother. Yo, God bless America. Mike is, dude, I don't even get me started, Mike Kalinowski. That man, Jesus. But no, Hannah and Zipper are just, like, they're two forces in Geekdom this year, and I'm so stoked to see who could possibly take down the Chosen, because like you say you weren't ready, that you weren't ready to take the belt from him yet, and that's great.
I was
like
not.
you have other priorities in front of you, but like these two guys, like Inner Geekdom's been their bread and butter for a while. Yeah. So like, how are they going to approach tackling this new reign that Chandru has on the Inner Geekdom division?
Yeah, it seems like it's a pretty clear picture of what the title picture is going to look like post the Mara match.
Right. And we'll see this Friday. We'll see how that looks. But I have a feeling that Chandru is gonna topple some titans in his own division, at least when it comes to this weekend. But Zipper Hannah, this is gonna set the standard for Inner Geekdom, I believe, going forward in the season, because I know we had that Amaru and Jesse Swift match as well.
Amaru.
Yeah, Amaru, but
he's solid. I wouldn't say he's a force, but he's definitely solid.
Yes.
Yeah, like Zipper is definitely good at Inner Geekdom. Like,
he's good. Don't get me wrong, he is good.
But Inner Geekdom nowadays, you can't just be good.
Yeah. He also had the added benefit of playing backseat to both Smets and Parker last season.
Right.
So, and he's on a faction now where he's basically going to be besides Chandru, like the number 2 IG guy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be interesting to see how he fills that role, because he's going to have to step his game up, and I think he knows that.
And I think Chandru is probably one of the better the spot he's in. Like, he was with Smets, so he already was in a good spot to practice IG and get better at it. Now he's with Chandru, basically in the exact same position where he can get better and not have that entire IG weight on his shoulders.
It's a good substance, a good situation to change from.
Yeah, it's a good two-headed monster within the same division. I mean, besides corruption, of course. But the thing with these two guys is that I think they both have a lot to prove this year, and for drastically different reasons. Like, Hannah's been the butt of everybody's jokes for more than a year now.
For good reason.
Leo Logan and Chess, he has Hannah, and I don't blame you for that. Yeah. Like, to me, it's a toss-up. I'm leaning towards Hannah.
Zipper.
Hell on earth. If I had to pick one, I'd pick Hannah, but like, I wouldn't be surprised if Zipper won, because both these guys have something to prove this year. And exactly. I think Hannah just has more to prove, because like I mentioned, he's the butt of everyone's jokes. People laugh at this man. Shit, Matt, we've laughed at this man on this show. And like,
you called him out in your audition that we never got to send in.
Right. So
because you gave me a million things.
Man, I don't want to talk about this right now. So I'm leaning towards Hannah on this, but either way, Inner Geekdom's gonna have some stiff competition this year, especially since Christian's like, oh, Star Wars is gonna be more like what word did he say? Not competitive. Yeah, it's gonna take more of a spotlight to Inner Geekdom. I'm like, damn,
it's gonna be what IG was last year, basically. This year it seems like IG's the division taking the backseat comparatively.
Sure, and I'm totally biased because it's my favorite division to watch, and I don't like any shit talk when it comes to my favorite division. ASC in the chat, Hannah will engineer a win. Word, hell yeah, brother.
Good pun.
Good shit. But let's move on. Unless Chance probably shouldn't show his cards.
I mean, there's no one involved.
He's not involved with this one.
If you want, brother.
I have no problem. I'm taking Hannah on this one. Because I feel like if Hannah comes back and loses again, he's gonna continue to look like a joke.
Right.
Which I don't think he wants, and that's not good for his image. Mm-hmm. So I think that's gonna drive him. I think that it's gonna depend. I'm not sure if it's like been publicly discussed yet, but I think but IG is taking a shift this year that I'm not gonna say anything because it hasn't been revealed yet, but it's taking a shift this year. So it's gonna be interesting to see how like a lot of these like players who've been accustomed to the game as it's been the last couple seasons, see how they adjust to things they're gonna be altered.
And from what we do know, all those new additions to categories or category wise,
that's been made public.
Yeah, right.
No, it hasn't.
Yeah,
we know a number. We know a number. We don't know all the additions, Chris. Yeah, we know a number.
Yeah, there's going to be new categories this year. So obviously, I mean, they were talking about it on that Team Action show. I mean, it's not those were really inner geekdom slices, but still,
new slices, and I'm not thrilled about a lot of them to be honest. But
one of them, I think this one's been talked about. The Pirates of the Caribbean slice.
It's those movies are in. They're not their own slice.
Okay.
Yeah. So like the fact that we're getting new slices this year, it's obviously going to throw a monkey wrench in this thing, and that's across the board too, not even just in their geekdom. So like singles, teams, like it's going to be. It won't be a mess, but I would love to see how competitors react to that.
Exactly.
It's a whole different thought process, and it's more individual folks, more genres, more whatever the hell the slices are going to be. So Inner Geekdom is going to be the most interesting because that's so tight. Like not as tight as Star Wars, but it's still like what's considered geeky to the Schmodown. I've always questioned, but I mean we'll see when it comes to this season whenever they do get announced from Christian and all them. But yeah, Hannah, he just has more to lose, so he has to win.
Exactly.
Thank you, ASG. Alien and Predator was announced as a slice.
Yeah, that's
okay. You have my interest now.
Yeah, I mean, is that legit? Where did that come from?
Probably one of the slices that the Action guys announced. That's
okay. I know they did like Nick Cage and Ed Harris. I saw those two.
That one I'm not happy about either, but. PLD gets his way.
Why not? Oh, PLD getting his way.
Yeah, PLD gets his way first of all, but also just like Ed Harris, really?
Of all people.
I know somebody's probably excited about that Nick Cage slice, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about some certain folks later. But hell yeah, Hannah. Well, let's move on.
Go ahead, Chris.
Yo, so we got the Hurricane, Jada Paramo, against someone that Chance is going to be seeing this weekend, Janine the Machine, on the 19th. And that's before a pay-per-view, but we'll talk about the pay-per-view in a second. But two competitors who get a lot of flack for absolutely no reason. Like they're stuck. I think they're stuck in the middle somewhere. Like they're floating around. They haven't reached that upper threshold that some other folks have breached through, but like Jader had a kick-ass. He played great last season when he did. So like I can't knock Jader, but and we barely saw Janine last season as well because of the new format change going digital. But with that being said, I think I'd have to pick Jader.
Yeah, I got Jader in this.
I got Jader too.
I think he's just been more consistent. I know a friend of Chris's who he'll be playing in Shmobi the Muddy tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
hates when people doubt Janine, but Jader's just got this really interesting stat of being killer in round 1, killer in round 3, but just completely shitting the bed in round 2, and still somehow being in it at the end because he's able to hit his 5. So I'm wondering if he cleans that up, and for that reason, I think I'm leading Jader here.
Something that impressed me about Jader is the fact that he can play defense really well. Yes. Which is a skill that even like a lot of veteran players struggle with sometimes. So yeah, that's why like he can have like a lackluster round 2 and still be in it by the end of it. But yeah, but Janine can really pull a really good spin around 2. Well, I think on the whole, he had like a lot of really good round 2 spins, if I'm not mistaken. Someone could correct me on that if I'm not right. But yeah, he needs to be able to like hit a strength and then like ball out with it, or hit something he's good at and ball out with it. I think if you see Jader because like he's gonna deliver on 1, you know that. He's probably gonna deliver on 3. I think if he gets to like between 5 to 7 points in round 2, he wins.
Yeah,
unless he has like a massive collapse in the 3rd round,
which would be uncharacteristic for him. But I definitely agree.
No, Jader. I don't know, just something about like Jader's gameplay last season really impressed me. Granted, we barely saw Janine, but Janine's track record hasn't been the best. Like, obviously, she's a good player. She knows movie trivia. She's there for a reason. But I don't know, just like something about Jader coming in from that fan event in Orlando, and like he's still here. He's still here. Like I remember
He
when
persevered.
right. And I remember when that got announced. I'm like, oh, they're probably gonna get some loser. They're gonna be just like me, right? Like they think they know trivia, but they don't, and they're gonna win that thing by a fluke, and then they'll be gone after one match. But he's still here, like seasons later, now we're
Season later.
season later, going into season 8. Like I'm fascinated by Jada Parama. I think he's gonna do some decent things this year. I don't think he's gonna he'll be contending for belts unless he just has a total shift in gameplay. Leo Logan has Janine. Jada needs to perform better in round 2.
I agree.
I agree, but I think he's finally. I think he's finally going to have that good round 2. That's the thing. That's where I'm going.
Word, and the Den, they're doing something different this year. I like.
Are they?
I mean, is this Chance Ellison or the Cobra talking to me?
Bit of both.
Word. So, I mean, it's different for better or for worse. And maybe with the change of scenery, Jader can improve on that round 2. But like you guys said, he needs to do better in that round 2 because that's what sunk him in the last time we saw him. So we'll see. I still got Jader though. I maybe I'm just biased, but I got Jader over Janine 100%. All right.
Well, I think Chance's bias is about to show up in this next match because it's the first half of the pay-per-view is Bibbs Oyama.
Yeah, what the hell? That's one hell of an undercard.
Like I said, the look on his face.
That's the undercard. Wow.
Yeah, what the hell?
The look on his face is like, yep, you're talking about the guy who I've had this rivalry with ever since he came in, and I had it back in the fan league, and the guy who just took my belt last time we played. So,
who you got?
Yeah, who you got?
I mean, I'm never gonna. I mean, Paul's like off screen. He's like a really good friend of mine. I've known the dude for years. So, I'm never gonna bet against him. I think it's gonna be a tight match. It's gonna be super highly contested, but he's a player that I'm never gonna. He's a player that I'm always gonna put my money on if he's the option. So yeah, Bibbs. It's gonna be real unless one of them had like a total collapse in one of the rounds.
Yeah,
which both of them have been prone to do. Bibbs more so than Paul. Because
I was just about to say, I'd argue Paul's been way more consistent than Bibbs.
No, Paul's definitely been way more consistent than of the two of them. But yeah, barring a total collapse, it should be like a really competitive match.
You know, I do have Oyama in this, and this is the huge swag fan in me showing out. But I just love Oyama's gameplay. Like, even when you look at him in teams last year, for the most part, he was the dominant force on Final Exam. In singles, he was pretty damn good, and he just ran into Jeff Snyder on Jeff Snyder's Revenge Tour in the singles tournament. So, what can you say? If Snyder didn't lose to Collins in the tournament final, it'd be a little bit of like a disappointment, but he made it to the tournament final. You can't say Paul lost to someone on a fluke. That's just one of the greatest players of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Paul's track record speaks for itself, in my opinion. I love Bibbs, but I got Paul in this.
This one's hard for me, dude. Like, cause if I was hypothetically going into this league and they're like, oh, you want to play? You're gonna play Paul Oyama? Oh God! Like, really? No, I don't want to do that because we've seen what that man's capable of. Obviously, he was one of those to pioneer the I'm coming into this league and I'm gonna win a belt a few matches in. It's like, oh shit, oh okay, cool. Like that's awesome. And then Bibiani obviously is William Bibiani. He's the beast. He has all these accolades, all these records. He's always standing, like myself. But
he's still standing.
But damn, Bibiani had himself one. He scares the hell out of me every time I see Bibiani play because he's so nonchalant about it. Like he and really in Paul too, looking down at his computer, answering these questions. ASG
ding ding ding. ASG hits it on the head.
Word, yeah. And I mean Oyama, he beat Marisol in that pseudo perfect game that he had, in the singles tournament last year, and like you said, that Snyder question. Damn. Yeah. Oh, I'll pick Oyama too, but I'm not as confident as the both of you guys are. I will say I'm leaning towards Oyama over Bibiani, but it'll be a barn burner, 1,000%. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to sudden death.
I'm with you there.
And they both might go perfect. Who the hell knows? They're both capable of doing that, just casually, because that's how good they are as players. But damn, we'll see both these guys in singles title contention going into the season, or as the season progresses. Like, it's damn, and that's the undercard. That's the undercard for this pay-per-view, because you got to put the title match second. You just gotta, and that's Alex Damon and Andrew DeMolanta. Alex Damon's been on this legendary, historic run that will probably never be touched ever again in the Schmoedown, because that's how competitive the league is now. Yes. Like, that's how difficult it is. I mean, Chance, like, firsthand. And DeMolanta, like, he lost to Ace last year in that Star Wars tournament, that competitive ass Star Wars tournament, where people are losing by one word, as we mentioned with Scrimshaw earlier. And now he's facing Damon. I don't know. I don't know, Matt. Yeah, I mean, you like watching, obviously, the Star Wars more than I do. I wouldn't know where I could get that idea from, but who you got, Damon or DeMolanta?
My heart wants to say DeMolanta, but I'm going to go with my mind here, and I'm going to go with Damon, because look at what Damon did at Spectacular. Other than a couple slip ups in the speed round, like forgetting that Han Solo was in The Rise of Skywalker. Come on,
come on, even I knew that one.
Yeah, I got more questions for you about Star Wars in a little bit, Chance. But like I can't bet against Alex Damon. No one has given me any reason to say, oh, Damon's gonna lose. I'm sorry. The closest person who's given me any fear that Alex Damon might lose hasn't even played a match yet.
Harper.
Yep. That's no slight against Zach or Marie, but Harper's the only one that has given me that feel that, yeah, he can beat Damon. That's the only person who's really given me that vibe because of how seriously he's taking this. So I got Damon.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, he hasn't lost a match in over 3 years, or almost 3
years. It'll be 3 years in April.
Yeah, so you'd be a fool to bet against Alex Damon. Like, you would just be, it'd be ridiculous to bet against Alex Damon at this point. Not only this, because I don't remember who told me this, but like it was much better. Who told me, like, when you want to study it, you watch Alex Damon's show. Like, he is the face of that division in the way like Wayne Gretzky was the face of hockey in the 90s. Or the 80s. When did he play? No, not the 90s. I was right.
HG, I think it was forgetting about Solo and saying how many times 4 was in Star Wars in the speed round.
No, because they both said after the fact they forgot Rise of Skywalker because it's so quick.
Which they forgot the best. They forgot the best scene in the movie. Come on.
Right.
I like that movie, but that's easily the best part of it.
I got it in my top 3. It's not the best part for me, but
yeah,
really,
Matt's heart skipped a beat when you said that. Holy shit!
Unlike you, he just said he liked the movie. So
I liked it.
No,
yes, I do. Don't say I don't like it.
As much as you tear it apart,
But on DeMolanta, though, I think it's gonna be interesting to see if he has like his attitude shift with the Mercs,
right?
Because the whole like intense about to pop a blood vessel on screen, it's not really gonna fit that whole thing. I love it if you continue to play like that. But
I think that's just him as a player, though.
No, that is. He's intense, and that works for him. That really works for him.
I mean, it got him to the end of the Star Wars tournament.
It did. It got him a shot. It got him a shot at the belt. Mm-hmm. Maybe they'll continue that on, but it's going to be interesting to see. I'd be curious to see if he took an approach more like Ace, more like Paul, to where like they're more relaxed and therefore they don't feel as pressured. Like they kind of thrives playing like that. Ace not so much towards the end. But throughout the majority of the season, they thrive. So We're curious to see what kind of approach he takes this match, given his new team. But yeah, I'm still betting on. Again, I would love to see Dimmelon prove me wrong, because I do like that guy. But I can't bet against Damon, but I'd like to see Dimmelon win as well.
As Damon will lose this year. He will lose a Star Wars match this year. This ain't it, though.
Yeah. This is how the bat dies.
Yeah, like I don't. Damn it. Because Star Wars is just getting like the division doubled this year with the draft. There's so many new Star Wars folks coming in. Like all them coveted Dragon Con players are coming in, and they're all awfully knowledgeable in Star Wars. How that would translate to the game, we'll see. But like, regardless if you're Thomas Harper or not, but Dimolanta, of course, I want to see that if he does a character change to the Mercs, because what he was doing with the exchange ain't gonna cut it. At least from what we know, it may just seamlessly cross over. But
he can smile again. It's gonna be nice.
Right, because last season he lost his smile, like Shawn Michaels did. But I got Damon. Damn it! Like I don't want to say that, because I want as much as this may sound bad, I want Damon to lose just so we can get some new faces in with these belts. But he's that good. He's that good.
He's proved it time and time again.
And he's the guy who studies on camera, because that's what his channel is.
That's his job. That's his job.
And when the time comes where he decides to call it quits, it's going to be called the Alex Damon belts.
Right. Like it's going to be a whole dedicated wing to Alex Damon. Like when we do the Hall of Fame, the Schmodown, it'd be like the Alex Damon Star Wars Hall of Fame. Like it's, God bless America. But no, I got Damon for now. He will lose this year because he kind of has to, right? ASG in the chat, I've called Damon losing to Andrew or Laura. People are saying Laura a lot, and I mean we'll probably touch on those matches later.
Oh, and there is a chance that could be a triple threat as well.
That could be triple threat.
No, Christian announced that's not going to be a triple threat.
Oh, it's not going to be. Oh, it's not.
So
I remember that.
Damon opted out, and that's why the match got announced now.
Got it. Okay.
That was a weird segment at the Spectacular. It felt kind of.
I know people were confused. Like, what was just explained?
Yeah,
you're playing, but they could be in the match too, but also not. What's happening?
Exactly.
I mean, it was cool seeing all of them together, but like, it was just weird. But nah, Damon, damn it. I want Dimolanta to win. I do. Like I said, just so we can
and it could happen.
Totally.
Maybe the only way to beat the AD is with another AD.
There you go. So we'll just, it would still say AD on the belt. It would just be Andrew Dimolanta. Maybe.
You don't got to change the letter. Maybe that's why he's going to win.
Yeah, I mean, GD. But that's to be one hell of a main event and one hell of a pay-per-view on the 19th. Absolutely. Holy shit. Actually, nice explained pun, man. Did
I didn't. I don't remember explaining a pun. So hey.
I mean, I'm all for the puns, but damn. All right. The next match is Video Drew versus Elliot Dewberry, which this one sticks out amongst the rest because it just seems so like just like out of nowhere. Because I mean, we have matches with rookies, at least from the ones announced last week or the week before that as well. Like we have a bunch of rookies getting showcased. Some vets who need to prove something. Obviously, we have some killers like Bibiani and Oyama, but Video Drew and Elliot Dewberry, it just felt thrown together, and it's two personalities going against each other. Really, the new Dewberry, the corrupt Dewberry, and Video Drew, and how that'll pan out on screen. I can't wait to see it because I loved what Dewberry did last season when he faced Makuga. I loved that, but how that translate to face Video Drew after the season, the brief stint that she had last season.
Yeah, I have Video Drew in this match. No offense, Chance. No offense to corruption. This isn't a corruption thing right here. This is just the fact that how she played in that last match, and then she was on the horror show hosted by the Regent Taylor Cleek and his buddy Connor Breedlove. And I got to talk to her a little bit beforehand, and how she's taking to studying and how her entire mentality on the Schmodown has shifted. There's just something about her this year. I can't bring myself, at least for this first match, to pick against her.
I mean, she's she's in a new dungeon now that consists of bosses and people who are dangerous and brown dwarf stars. So that may play into this new video Drew, this potential new video Drew we're going to see this season. ASG in the chat, video Drew has a vet
is a vet to prove.
I have video Drew in this too. Even when Elliott faced Josh McCouga last season, I mean, obviously Elliott played a better game because he won, and to the shock and to the disappointments of almost everybody. But but I don't know, man. I like Video Drew's match against Jen Kemp last season was like that was just a glimpse of what we're gonna see this season, in my opinion. I have Video Drew in the battle of the personalities. I can't wait to see Ellie Dewberry cut his promo against her. It's gonna be awesome. I mean,
yeah, Chance, we're not gonna make you pick here because it's your boy. We're not gonna make you pick here.
I'm going Ellie either way.
I know you are.
But please explain, like, if you have any 2 cents on Video Drew, someone you really haven't encountered.
I mean, I know Drew. I've known Drew for a long time, so I haven't encountered her in the ring, at least as of yet, because she kind of terrifies me. But not by her gameplay, just her personality. It scares me. So
she's been loony before, so
yeah. But I do think that Elliot he's a weird player, man, because like he's especially like so specific that if he hits something, he's gonna nail it. So, but Drew seems to be taking. I admire what Drew's doing. She's actually taking a really different approach than what she used to when she started this game. I do appreciate it for that. But come on, dungeon doesn't beat corruption, so it's gonna be Drew. It's gonna be Elliot. I'm sorry.
Elliot. I mean, he talk about like a core four to bounce off of. ASG in the chat. I want to see Video Drew if she wins, play the winner of Jader and Janine. That'd be dope too. It's probably what's going to happen if we're being frank. Yeah. But like Elliot has like you at the top, Collins at the top, Kalinowski at the top, McKee, Hoyk. I mean, Hoyk gets a lot. Like he still somehow slipped down. He was the MVP of the horror free for all. So like there's been a
my bad.
No, you're fine.
You're fine, dude.
So like there's definitely a lot of vets and a lot of knowledge to be trickled down throughout the factions to Video Drew, to Elliot Dewberry. And it's I can't wait to see it. I'm leaning towards Video Drew, but if Elliot brings the heat, then like I don't know what I'm talking about, which usually is the case on this show.
You usually like it'll bust out like a great game out of nowhere. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, like I thought his match against Josh, although like Josh McCouga is historically a 500 player, like I thought Elliot was he was playing well. I thought he played well, and like when he beat Josh and he retired the Wild Man, like God, I just love the corrupt Elliot Dewberry finally succumbing to the corruptness.
I gotta love how in the beginning he's like, "Where am I? What's going on?" It was like Get Out. It was like, do you have anything to do with that? Let's be honest.
Maybe. Like Shannon's the mind twister. I'm just there with the tools.
Where hell yeah, brother. All right, let's move on because this next one is Are
you suckers ready to rage?
God damn it!
What the?
You can't just do that. That scares the shit out of me every time. Every time.
I had to.
For those who don't know, that is the Rager Rick Radis because he plays Christy V, 1/4 of the Fan League 4, the highly coveted Fan League 4. So, I mean, Chance, these are two rooks coming in.
If I remember correctly, you had a hand in the scouting of rookies. Your thoughts, because you probably
I did, yeah.
You can probably tell us more about Christina. She was one of the few rookies we couldn't get on before the draft, but we could speak a lot on Addis. You have an opinion of both of them at this point, so
right. I mean, not to like throw anybody on the bus, but they were two people that we were looking at 2 drafts coming up last season.
Yeah.
And yeah, both of them impressed us for different reasons. We really liked Christina's enthusiasm. We've liked Rad's style of play and also his enthusiasm. Both of them bring something unique. Are going to bring something unique to our faction they came on to. That just happens to be Faction Man spearheaded by 2 morons. So it's more of a case of the manager. Like, what wins out, the awful or the even more awful?
Which one's the even more awful?
Take your pick.
Wow. Wow.
Tell Chance coming in hot.
He sounds a little bitter that he wasn't able to get one of them as a teammate.
I mean, Christy and Radis, those are like. I mean, the Family Four was talked about, and so was Radis. Radis even more so than the Family
I'm surprised.
Four.
I'm surprised Radis slipped as far as he did. Honestly, the way he's being talked about, I'm surprised he slipped as far as he did.
Him and Lomas, honestly, because they were given the Christian seal of approval way early on.
Exactly.
And so we're like, oh, I mean, it's been made no secret. Like we know the advocate for Rick Radis, Taylor Cleek, and it's been like crazy as hell watching him do all this. But when we were watching the draft, we're like, damn, like a lot of rooks that we thought were highly talented were slipping. Like, and among them were Christy and Radis. So this match is two rooks, so it's hard really to gauge this match because we both we don't know what the Rage is going to bring now that he's under the Finstock Exchange, and we don't know what Christy's going to do. I'm blanking on Christy's faction.
She's on those the stars.
Not the rock stars, the stars.
Yeah, the stars. Can't say rock stars anymore.
I don't know. Yeah. There's a reason why I forgot what it is. But
it's tied to Roxy's brand. I know that for a fact.
That's right. Okay.
So
the stars.
The stars. So I mean,
may as well call yourself the Schmodown Trivia Faction. The name's so generic.
I love that you just throwing shots. I gotta.
Damn.
I don't. Yeah,
this is why I like getting brothers on the show because you and Winston just got no issue. Just
we have no issue taking pop shots when they present themselves.
Exactly.
So I mean, Chance, might as well start with you. I mean, like you said, you talked to both of them. Y'all at Corruption are familiar with the both of them,
right.
And now they're on Stars and the Finstock Exchange. Who are you leaning towards? Because we don't have a measure.
Yeah.
You more so than maybe the two of us in regards to Christy, but are you leaning one way or another? The Washington
faction.
That's good. ASG.
No, it would be the Massachusetts Schmodown faction. It's Roxy.
Yeah.
Massachusetts Trivia Faction. There you go.
Yeah, the Massachusetts Trivia Faction. Yes. Oh my god.
So based on what I saw during the recruit, I'm leaning Radis.
Mm-hmm.
Again, someone whose strengths are very special. I'm not going to reveal it here, but I mean, he hosts a horror show here, so you obviously know know what he's good at.
Yeah, his advocate definitely hosts
the Nick Cage category. I'm pretty sure he's excited about.
His advocate is hosting
the
show because
his advocate.
They look so much alike. I always get confused.
I mean, we have evidence that they are not the same person.
Oh, we have evidence.
Yes, we have evidence. I'm just
hashtag where's the birth certificate?
Yeah, I am. Wow. Look, Chance, I don't know what you're talking about. I think they look drastically different. But
maybe it's just me.
Yeah, I think
they all look alike to me. Guy's named Rick.
Oh, word. It's Richard. Yeah, it's it's like God damn it.
Guys with R's, their name all look alike to me.
Just the R, like
just the R.
Like God. Me. Like I look like Radis.
Yeah. You're not Taylor Creek? Oh, my bad.
No. Oh, damn.
You said the last name wrong too. He gets that all the time.
I don't know where he's at.
Yeah, Cleek. You said
my bad. My bad.
I don't know where he's at right now, but his heart just skipped the beat. Like it's like.
My bad. I'm still taking your homie Rick to win the match just because I feel like It's the Schmodown character we didn't know existed, but we're bringing him in now. He seems already comfortable doing the whole persona thing. It's going to be a matter, and I feel like he knows the game. So it's going to be a matter of seeing that if that translates, and I am willing to bet that it will. And he's also the first step of their, big rookie experiments.
Right.
If this works, they'll go like geniuses. This fails, they're like idiots.
Actually, he's the second because Lomas plays before Radis.
Oh, Lomas plays before him?
Lomas. We played on the batch we talked about last week because Lomas.
Okay.
Lomas is the week before this. Yeah Lomas Alvarez.
That's right. So it's going to be interesting to see how this rookie experiment pans out. But which I'm interested to see.
Word, and I know usually like when either like Christian like hypes up somebody, like he obviously he sees a lot in them. Do they pan out all the time? Maybe not. But it's like in wrestling, like from a wrestling fan, it's like Vince McMahon's obviously going to push somebody, whether we accept him or we take him or not, or if he's good, that's up for us to determine.
Like it's like at that point, like you have so much fanfare to get you out there. It's the same thing like when I debuted. There's so much fanfare to get people like me out there, people like Rick. At that point, it's all on you.
Right. Exactly. Like it's like you have to prove yourself. And if someone as highly touted and highly talked about as Rick Radis, like he has to prove himself. Like if Radis takes a loss, how's that going to look on Radis? Because he came in like a ball of fire. He's the one that Christian had been teasing, called him a combination of Makuga, Snyder, and Finstock.
He's kind of living up to it right now.
I mean, yeah.
But how
and if he can match the gameplay of 1/3 of those, then
and if
it'll
it's
be
not
something.
Makuga or Magneto, he's going to be in safe hands. I have Radis as well. Radis has the most to lose. Although Christy V has she's yes, the Family League 4 definitely made a name for themselves going into this, and Amaru going second overall definitely helps their case. But if Radis loses, he'll take more of a hit. To me, so I
agree.
Yeah, so I got Radis because he has no choice. Like he has to win this match. Matthew?
Yeah, I got Radis. Like I'm the one who played that clip. You think I don't have Radis? Shit.
Yeah, I mean, you can't play like unexpected rager. Like you can't do that.
I'm the one who was helping the Ragent pre-draft. Trust me, I'm pulling for Radis hard.
No, and I know we're of course there gonna be a bunch of homers over here because we know the advocate, but still Rage the Rage stuff.
Hold on, we have someone here who isn't a homer though, and he went Radis, right. So that's that's the big thing there.
He has more to lose, so he has to win in this case. Same thing with Amaru, same thing with Lomas. Like these highly touted rooks need to prove themselves, and we'll see how it is when the regular season starts in March. But the match after that is between someone who's on your faction, Chance, someone who was drafted awfully late, and everyone thought was going to be drafted sooner. Arguably the steal of the draft, the Jet, James White, is going to face off against the powder keg, Paul Preston.
Thank Christ, he changed the nickname.
Word, right?
What was it? I forget.
The Wizard.
The Wizard.
Chris, I think next year we got to get our Wizards game tape ready if there's more fan auditions.
Word, but I mean James White was the most talked about person once that 7 rounds ended, and we're like, where the hell is James White?
Yeah, it was one of those, and we know we're just like, he's right there. Should we just take him? Like, yeah, why not? Let's take him.
Like, word, because he took Bibiani to the last question in the singles tournament. Like he obviously knows his stuff.
Right.
Like, he's not a slouch. But the fact that he fell so low, the people just forget, and Corruption was like, "Oh, okay." Like,
I mean, he's actually we'll take him under our wing. Why not?
Word. And granted, he's facing off against Paul Preston, who had the sophomore slump last season, and
Paul's the rager in this instance. He's got the most to lose in this match.
Totally.
Yeah, I mean, James taking where he is. He can be seen as a very low risk, high reward type of signing.
Mm-hmm.
Paul being assigned free agents is going to put pressure on him. So he's got to deliver, and especially after last season, where he was taken second overall by the Den, and didn't win a match.
Look, Paul. People are saying "Oh, Paul, comeback player of the year, Paul Preston already," and it's wait,
guilty as charged.
And I totally understand why, because he's proven that he's a good player. He just had a season 7, and now going into this, he's facing off against somebody who we talked about Bibiani a second ago, and how Bibiani is one of the best of all time. But James White almost beats Bibiani. On a different day, James White might have beaten Bibiani, and we don't know how that singles tournament goes. But how will that translate to this season now that James White's with Corruption and Paul Preston still with the Den, to a lot of people's surprise, mine included? and how his gameplay would change or how his mentality would change going forward. It's hard for me to not pick James White. I'm like, as crazy as that might sound to the general Schmodown fandom, like I really want to pick James White. I'm gonna lean towards Preston, but I'm if James White beats him, holy shit! It's like Paul Preston is not starting season 8 off well at all. And look, damn, but no, Chance, you already have you have James on your faction, so we'll save you for last. But Matt,
Okay.
I got Paul. Paul is because Paul is the player who he's the player who has the most to lose this season because he needs to win to prove last season was just a fluke. He just had an off year. Granted, we all know what happened to him leading into last year, and that could have played a factor into it. But he needs to play this at the same type of play he did that first season we got him. That's the level he needs to play at. Like there's no more. I loved when he lost in his final teams match because like I'm done being the nice guy. I'm going back to who I was. I'm the powder keg's back. I'm like, all right, cool. That's the attitude I needed to see from me all season. I didn't see that. I'm hoping he took that attitude and used it as used it to feign the fires, to light a fire under his ass, to study more and take this to where he needs to take it this season. So,
and I mean, Chance, just in the short time that you've gotten to be with James, like, have you what's his? I don't want to show off his cards, but how is he feeling within the corruption faction? And why do you have him beating Preston?
Okay. Give me 1 second, because if I'm gonna do this right, I gotta get the gear on.
Here we go. All right.
You want to know why James White's gonna win this match? Because James White got out of that pit that is the den. You know why he got out of the pit that is the den? Because he decided to stop following the K Mulligan model. K Mulligan model of I'm gonna take winners, turn them into losers. I'm gonna take losers, turn to Ben Goddard. So you know what? He came to the right place. He wants to win. Because that's all we do, baby. And that's why he's going to take this match.
Word. Yo,
I got so much respect for you. I did not expect to get a Chance promo this. So
sometimes you just feel it.
You know what? Just for that, I just got it.
Oh, you're gonna cut one too? Oh, it's like damn, like my man said to cut one.
No, I ain't gonna. You think I want to cut a promo on this man? I put an audition. Please. I couldn't even get the time of day. I ain't cutting a promo on him.
Please cut a promo against Chance. I'm begging for it. But no, and if James White wins this match,
then I will.
Damn, I got Streamlabs you real quick.
Sure. $20 in stream level. What kind of promo on me?
Hey, just send it to my PayPal. It's just as good.
Word. All right, but this match gonna be killer
too. No, it's gonna be great, and like I'm excited for James because he gets a chance to make a statement win, and we're gonna make sure he does it because James White slipping to round 7, that's ridiculous. So we're not gonna stand for that.
How?
Was it round 7 or was it round 8?
No, it was round 7. It was round 7.
No, okay.
No, 8.
It was 8. I think Cleveland was the pick.
First round of the post live draft.
The social media part of the draft. Yeah. So he fell to 8.
Which I do. I have a question based off of that. Do you think Christian learned a lesson and he should just do all the rounds televised going forward? Because televised because there was some backlash after those first 7, and then there was more backlash saying that, for example, let's use the Exchange because they were the ones facing the most backlash, that they just chose, and I've talked to Craig and I know this isn't the case, but they faced backlash that they just chose those women in the last 2 rounds as to look better when that really wasn't the case. But
I don't think we'll ever see a day where all 12 rounds are televised. I'm gonna be honest, and I think here's the reason why. I think that as it was set up, it was already because what was the total clock time of the draft last time? It was
about a little under 2 hours. They could have knocked out those, especially because the latter rounds went quick.
In the format like right now, it's doable. But say like when we finally do go back to doing like live stuff, like in person thing, we start doing drafts at the Comedy Store again. We're not going to do 12 rounds of draft at the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like last year where we have a 2-drink limit and no food.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I heard y'all were smashed quick.
Oh my no! Like literally, it was like by 4 in the afternoon, we were all drunk.
Oh, 2-drink limit. Keep that in mind. 2-drink.
No, 2-drink limit. Like to start with, we all ordered more under the impression that like, oh, we're gonna have food. Then they had no food. Like, fuck, we all ordered drinks. Keep going.
Yo, oh my god, that must have been chaotic. That must have been blast though, but chaotic.
Dude, like whenever like we get like a ton of people together and for an event like that, the after party is always like the best part of the day.
Word, nah, and Matt and I were talking about the whole draft thing, and the format had changed so much between the Comedy Store last year and doing it digitally this year. Plus, I believe that the one at the Comedy Store took longer. Yeah. Because there was more to it.
Well, yeah, there's more like get off stage, come on stage.
Yeah. The interviews in between with the person that just got drafted. So like there was a lot of moving pieces in this one. It's Mark, Frank, and Brad. Like they talk, pick gets announced, they come back.
Yeah, I do think that whole
I prefer this
early.
one.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said I'm not gonna lie. I prefer this format because especially if Christian decides to keep making this a yearly thing of allowing fans to audition, it lets things just run smoother. It's like a real televised draft. I prefer this format. It works.
And I will say that I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? Oops. Oh well, that's not important.
If it comes back to you, we'll just we'll get back to it.
I'll say it, but actually, you know what? I remember now. So I think that the whole like what you're talking about the backlash afterwards for big names not getting picked up. Yeah. I think the later rounds was come out like the next morning.
Yeah, they were supposed to be the next day.
Yeah, so I think that I would have liked the Hank Spence a little more because I like seeing people freak out. And I think it makes me laugh. I think it's funny, especially knowing where we're going to take James White. I would have loved to see like the outrage continue to grow in the morning. Like, hey, first pick of the later rounds, James White's
the corruption,
buddy.
Yeah, and everyone's like, god damn it, like the corruption.
Yeah, it's kind of like when like the whole like fire Gina Carano got trending again, and then like 2 hours later she was fired. Like, oh. That solves everything.
Yeah, that's all it took. ASG in chat. Every time James has a match, LGR is putting up the Scott. Can't wait. Get for the Jet. James White. If he beats Preston, oh my god.
Like I said, man, statement win if he beats Preston.
Mm-hmm. And White's first 2 opponents in the league are Bibiani and Preston.
Like, well, no, his first one was Frank Moran.
Yeah, he had Frank Moran first. He had the play-in match.
Yeah.
Which he did well. He did well.
Yeah, he did well.
Again, shouldn't have taken 3 apiece for Catherine O'Hara, but that's the kind of thing we'll beat out of you in training.
Ouch! Like, I mean, you're gonna beat it out of him? I'm kidding. But
welcome to corruption training.
You'd think you'd get that kind of torture in the dungeon.
You'd think so, but they don't. You do. They don't hit hard enough because look where they ended up last season.
Ooh. Moving on to March 26th. They have the Battlefield pay-per-view, the last pay-per-view of March, and the last one that was announced last week by Christian. Talk about another double main event. This was even billed as a double main event. The first match being John Roca and Liz Shannon Miller. Holy shit! It's Roca and Miller.
I love that dynamic just right off the bat. You have a dude who can bring such intensity versus a player who doesn't give a rat's ass, and I mean that in a great way.
She's played Roca before, if I remember correctly, hasn't she?
I don't think so.
I don't think she has.
Okay. Yeah, excuse me. I'm getting her mixed up with Silverstream in the tournament when she played. Yeah,
Silverstream's played him before, but he would have put a 2 at the end of that if they played before. So no, they hadn't crossed paths, but. I love that whole dynamic. I feel like we're going to get like a DiMolanta versus Ace again with like the attitudes going in, which I'm excited to see. But it's going to be an interesting one because, John Roca made a lot of noise last season for where he got drafted. Then last season happened. I'm not going to take shots at you there, buddy, but, we're on to buzzsaw. What are you going to do? And yeah, Liz had a really great season as well. So I'm very curious to see what she's going to do, especially under this new regime, because it seemed like Winston was like a really good like positive force for her to have in her corner. Now she doesn't have that anymore. So I'm very curious to see what kind of Liz Sandman we're going to see next season.
Right. Matt, you were going to say something?
So here's my thing. I'm a big Roka fan, but I have no issue admitting he plays like garbage in the digital format. He's a lot like Guy, where Guy is not built for the digital format. Roka is built to have.
I mean, was Guy built for live action?
Was he? Oh, no, ouch.
Dude was getting knocked out. Dude was getting knocked out, both physically and like trivia wise.
He was getting knocked out, but they were closer matches. It wasn't like the Bateman match where he only scored 4 points total.
Okay, fair. He did score at least 7.
Oh.
Yeah, he'd score. He'd at least get like to. It'd be a TKO for the most part, not a total knockout, but it'd be a technical knockout.
Yeah, because Roka's and Mike's I know this before. He's someone who really benefits from a crowd presence.
Yes.
Right.
So I think that when you take that away, you got to try and adapt. And he struggled with it, but maybe this is the season where he puts it all together. This one's a toss up though. This one is a toss up, especially going up against someone like Liz, who's a lot like. I know fuck all about it. Oh, sorry. I don't know if I'm supposed to cuss in the show.
No, go ahead.
Okay, cool. I know fuck all about.
That's a feed.
I know fuck all about AEW, but I do remember. That's the next media belt winner. Is that? Yeah, that's true. Actually.
Wow. Yeah. Holy shit.
So if Roka beats her, it's a good luck charm.
I guess. But look, Matt, I know you are. You converted me to LSMism. Last season.
I still always laugh at that.
I was late to the party. With Liz Shannon.
We were talking about the singles tournament, and I said that Liz Shannon Miller has Mount Rushmore potential, and Chris looked at me like I was crazy.
Because you know who she was playing? Him. She was playing Chance. And I came on this show preaching the name of Chance Ellison, as I typically do. To go back and watch the tape, it's there. And I'm like, yo, like Chance is gonna win this damn tournament. He's gonna win. And like LSM took you down, and I came on this show the next week, and I had my bowl of crow, like all this crow, and I was just eating it.
But what made it even funnier is that we had talked to Winston that day, and Winston was like, "Yeah, I got a match to record, but I'll try to make it after." And as closing, like he comes on, so we extended it an extra like 30 minutes. We made sure to pay attention to what he was wearing that day. And so we knew whatever match he's wearing this outfit is the match he just was recording.
Oh, was it Liz versus
Bibbs.
Collins?
Liz versus.
Bibbs. Okay.
So Chris, he's like, damn.
Yeah, because I'm like, yo, like she's running into multiple different walls, like Bibiani, Ellison, eventually
Bibbs,
eventually Collins, and it's like, yo. Like this, that's a hard road, but she conquered 2 of those mountains, and she lost to Collins in a close match. So, like one of the most slept on matches of the year, like really Collins' entire singles tournament run was slept on. In regards to like the match of the year category, it should just been all Collins matches, and the Inner Geekdom match from last year. Shout out to Chance. That match with Mike was awesome.
Yeah, I got Liz pulling it off. I'm an Outlaw fan, but I got Taylor's gonna hate me for this. I got Liz. John in the digital format hasn't worked so far, and Liz has thrived in it. So I got Liz. And it hurts me to say that. It hurts me to say that because I am a fan of the Outlaw. But
just to revisit a conversation we've had multiple times now about people they can't afford to lose. Roka is one of them. I think Roka cannot afford to lose. The fourth round Roka being his shadow all last season, and then essentially pushing out Dan Murrell, pushing him out of the Finstock Exchange, forcibly, by the way.
Yeah, because that's what you do. You trade. You're down. You're about to go through a big rebuilding period. What do? Trade away your best player.
Yeah, you take him out.
Not even trade. You cut him virtually.
Cut your best player.
Yeah, you release him. You. And it's not even mutual. You just release.
Hey, Patty Mahomes. You've been doing great work, but I cut you loose, buddy.
Yeah, we got to cut you because obviously
that's why I hated that whole. You were the one holding this faction back. Pause. It's not his fault. He won belts.
That was one hell of a promo. He tried to tell us that Dan wasn't good.
Right.
This goes crazy. Like,
Gucci's like, you were holding this faction back, yada yada. I was like, is he really telling the person who's the only reason he got points this year that he's the one holding this back?
Like, we're all looking like this motherfucker dumping Dan again.
Like, yo, like,
Dan, in Gucci's defense, Dan dumped him the first.
Dan is the first time. That's right. Yeah. Okay. So you're right. I got that one wrong, but. Yeah, literally.
No, see, they didn't JJ Watt him.
Gucci,
Gucci was in Tom's defense, he was smart. He knew the narrative was going to be if Dan left. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to force Dan out before the narrative can be Dan left me.
I mean, the more accurate one is DeAndre Hopkins him. DeAndre Hopkins.
Yes.
Him.
Yeah. Look, so not only that, you force Dan Murrell out. Like, you are preaching the name of the Finstock Exchange going into the draft. You essentially draft all rookies with the exception of Taylor Robinson. So now you have one big question mark going into your season 8. And Rocha, the spearhead of this, at least verbally, he's the spearhead of this because we all know Craig is doing a lot of work over there.
Like good team captain as well.
Right. But
really, I thought Rocha was the team captain.
No, I meant Rocha.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But Rocha now facing off against Liz Shannon Miller, someone who's highly touted, who's on her way up, could potentially win a belt this year. And in teams or singles, we'll see what she's capable of doing in teams. We know what she's good at in singles. But Rocha can't lose. With that being said, he's going to. Liz Shannon Miller, I've turned the tide. I've turned the tide on Liz Shannon Miller. The only wall that she ran into was Adam Collins, and we already know how I feel about Adam Collins. So I think she's
light.
Right, and we're gonna see Rocha lose this match, and like what Matt said, like Rocha obviously he's had good matches digitally. Like that match against Ethan Eye last year for number 1 contendership over the summer. Like that match was really good.
God fucking damn it.
I think you just need to invest in a laptop, Chance.
I have a laptop, but it doesn't work well with StreamYard, so that's why you have to get the phone.
Yeah, see, it's funny because I was doing this show for my phone, and it was just horrendous.
Yeah.
So I'm glad.
No, trust me, if I did it on my laptop, you'd be the fucking worst.
Word.
Yeah.
But I think Liz has talk about having nothing to lose.
No.
Like, granted, like she's just laid back, like with chances she don't give a shit. But when she wins, great.
And again, I'm not saying like she doesn't give a shit in the fact that she does not care about this league.
Right,
she does.
No.
But like the nonchalant attitude. Kind of like like I was saying earlier, I know fuck all about AEW, but I know Orange Cassidy. That dude's fun to watch.
Word, yeah. So and he's good. Like Orange Cassidy's awesome. So Liz Shannon Miller, like she's just so nonchalant about everything, and I think she's on the come up. Granted, she's been on the come up for a while, but she will be in belt contention this year. What division, we'll see. But it'll start first with beating Rocha at Battlefield in the undercard of this double main event on the 26th.
If the main event is what I think it is, that really should be the undercard. But
I agree with you. It's Bateman versus Riley. That should be the undercard.
We'll get to in a minute, but
yeah. So I mean, I have Liz. Matt has Liz. Chance, where are you leaning?
I'm really the advocate for Rocha on this show. Mark this down.
Are you gonna come to John's defense? Please do.
Yeah.
If anyone's gonna teach me, I'm glad it's you instead of Matt.
If the 2020 is carrying over because I am advocating on behalf of John Rocha. And here's why. Because like you said, he has something to lose. Rumor of his decline has been escalating for the past season, and last season did nothing to disprove that. So it's kind of like Aaron Rodgers this past football season. Rumors of his decline. Packers drafted potential replacement. What does he do? He comes back as an MVP season.
Word.
I'm not saying Rocha's gonna have an MVP season because the MVP is gonna come from my faction, possibly me. Who knows? But
calling it. Shoot your shot.
But I do think that he's gonna come to play. I think he has. Look, they're clearly trying to do something with the Finstock Exchange. I don't know if it's gonna work. But they're trying to do something, and by something I mean try and copy corruption, see if they can replicate our success this year, which is fine. I mean, imitation is the best form of flattery. But I feel like he's gonna hopefully adapt more to this digital format. If he does that, I think he takes this. Granted, and yes, I will agree with you. If we see the same digital Roku we've seen the past season, then I think Liz takes it. But I'm gonna lean toward Roku on this one.
I mean,
like I never doubt him, especially when his back is against the wall.
I mean, I'm surprised coming from you, Chance. You picking John Roca?
Yeah.
Hell just froze up.
Yeah, I was just about to say, is the apocalypse occurring outside? Because like,
I mean, in Oklahoma, it looks like if I look out my window. But look, like you guys said, this possibly should have been the main event.
Probably should have been.
But at the same time, the story backs up Riley Bateman just a little bit more than Shannon Miller and
I'm sorry, but the storyline of Roca having to win because Roca has been on this very quick decline. That's a storyline in itself that I think headlines.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, Bateman and Riley and Bateman doing that, like doing all that stuff, and he's like he's back doing the whole boss shtick. He's full heel again. And he's coming in with the dungeon now, facing off against Mark Riley. And Bateman, talk about someone who like that digital format. I think the season definitely looks different if it's still in person and we don't see a pandemic, because the digital format changed the outcomes of a lot of things, in my opinion. Roka's matches being one of them, being the prime example. Because who knows what those matches would have panned out or look like if those were done in studio. But Bateman facing off against Riley after the split of who's the boss, I don't want to be that guy, but I think it's Bateman, right? Like it's I don't want to diss Riley, I don't, but it's
those last couple matches. I don't care that he won him. He barely beat Video Drew, and before we got this new, it's him and Roca have had the largest years. This is Bateman clearly to me, and Bateman out of the two has more to lose because of how he handled free agency.
Yeah, dude was hoeing it up out there. He was hoeing it up.
Finstock Exchange. Final answer. Finstock Exchange. Final answer.
He said absolutely. Absolutely.
Dude was hoeing it up in free agency, but nevertheless. You're right, because if he pulls all this, he comes out and loses again.
Bateman, talk about can't lose. This is the most can't lose situation.
It is Bateman's game to lose.
Yes, because he brings in McWeeny apparently, right?
Guess.
Apparently because
nobody wants to kill people. Nobody wants to kill anybody in this league more than everybody wants to kill Ben Bateman.
Right, like
just so much.
Some people's hated competitor going into the season.
It's like that sitcom plot where the kid has like multiple dates to the prom.
Right.
And
yeah.
And he hasn't canceled any of them, and then they all find out, so they beat his ass.
Yo, and if Bateman wants to follow through with those storylines, then he has to beat Riley, because you can't lose to Riley and expect to be like, oh, McWeeny, I can still take you. Like, no, come on now.
You're out of your weight class, bud.
Yeah, so...
Well, I mean, he's not out of his weight class, because McWeely's, I think...
He's been out for about a year.
But what I mean, like record-wise, McWeely's like 4-4, I think.
McWeely's not too hot in singles.
He's not too high, so... Even if he lost, you could conceivably get McWeeny his next match, but for his character purposes, for like what he needs to prove this season, he needs to win. Yes.
Like probably looking at all the matches that we chatted about, this is probably the most must win.
He's 4-5 in singles.
4-5. God damn, really?
Yeah.
That's good.
The kid's 5-4.
I know that. But...
of course you know that. But McWeeny, damn. So all McWeeny's success came in teams then.
14-4 in teams.
Basically, yeah.
Holy shit. He's 14-4? Yeah. Oh my god. So damn. But no, it's Bateman. Bateman over Riley. I don't want to say it's a wash, but
I hope it's not a wash. It's gonna be terrible. That's the main event.
Right. So I don't want Bateman Guy again. Because although Guy was like in character and doing all this crazy stuff, it's still, you don't want to be disappointed, especially with someone as beloved as Mark Riley is. Right. And like he's an OG. Of course, we're all fans of Mark. Like,
dude, first inaugural champion. Like he's always
Right.
gonna have the respect, that respect in this league.
As he should. Like, and it's like he's just seeing all these new folks come in. It's that vet that's still playing. He's still in the league. He's like Vince Carter, right? Like,
Vince Carter.
He's still around. He's still chilling, but everyone respects him because he's been around for so damn long.
Yeah.
And when he was the shit, he was the shit. Like Riley was the jam for a very long time, and then just something changed. The league changed.
Yeah, the league evolved.
And now he's been floating around. And Who's the Boss gave him that that
Gave him a jolt.
Exactly, but they didn't reach that tag belt, that they've been clamoring for. So split now.
I'm always sad that I never got a chance to beat them.
You didn't get to beat Who's the Boss?
Well, yeah, because they're the one team that beat us that we haven't avenged. I know Shazam beat us, but we're gonna avenge that, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'll never get a chance. I never get a chance to avenge the Who's the Boss loss, which sucks. I feel like we should have beat that team.
Yeah, and Who's the Boss? They had a lot of promise, especially like when Anarchy put them together, and it's like, oh, yo, like this on paper, this is awesome.
They went all the way.
We saw Chris. That's where we met. Was watching them.
Yeah, and I was fanboying watching Who's the Boss, but they didn't beat the Odd Couple, and we saw how that panned out.
We flipped out about that loss.
It was like it. Yeah,
it was wild. It was a wild game.
Right. It was one hell of a game too, and rightfully should have main evented. Maybe unlike this one, depending on who you ask. But Chance, are you? I'm assuming you're leaning Bateman.
Yeah.
Like
you can't do what you've been doing. You can't like throw a diva your way out of your own faction, like just mess around with that. Dip your toes in every pool during the off season.
And let's be honest, that was the faction last year. He was the Aryan. He was the one saying, "Draft this guy, draft this guy, draft."
He was the guy running the show.
So, and I love Gucci. I will be one of the few people to say I love Gucci because of the personality he brings. Because he's a great in-game manager. He's great in-game. I will say this year, I know he's not getting as much credit as he deserves for his out-of-game management, but leading up to the draft. But that faction and Ben have a lot to prove.
Correct.
Yeah, and this time with Ben, now with the new scenery with the dungeon has a lot to prove as well. It's not like Corruption, for example. I'm not even just saying this because you're here. Like y'all are established. Like the top of the faction, like you, Mike, Collins, and McKee. All y'all are established. Y'all and we know what to expect out of y'all. And even Hoyk, if we want to go deeper, same thing with Scrimshaw, with Sullivan. We know what to expect out of these folks.
In fact, I was gonna say we're one of the only two factions in the draft, where everyone in their free agent signing had a belt at some point. Exactly.
So now with the dungeon, there's a lot of pressure, not only because you get Dan, you get Ben, you get Robert Parker, who's going to be on the come up this year in Inner Geekdom, which that's the popular consensus around at least this little after show space that we're in. But you get Knopic with your first pick, and that's one hell of a way to start the draft. And you have all this hype and all this anticipation, and if Bateman loses off the bat, on top of all his shit that he's going through storyline wise. That's not a good look. That's not a good look at all for anybody involved. He can't lose this. He legitimately cannot lose this, and I don't think he will anyway. And his matches last year backed that up. Unless there's a Lucas Black question, then
Lucas Black, and I'll
can I just tell you, I was so shocked he missed that question, considering that is considered like the cult favorite of all the Fast and Furious movies, because that's the one that people either love or they hate. There's no in between. You either love it or
he didn't see it, or he hadn't seen it at the time.
He hadn't seen it.
It's like how?
I mean, when you run a show called Action Industries, sorry, I kind of expect.
How do you skip any movie in that series, especially when it ties into the sixth movie? You'd think you'd go back to watch the third movie that ties into the sixth movie. Just saying.
It is the ugly duckling in the bunch, 100%.
Choose the ugly duckling. Choose the ugly duckling. This is
but at least those characters came back.
Yes.
Yeah.
But nobody besides Han, nobody's characters came back up until now when we get Fast 9.
Hold up. We had Lucas Black come back. It was for a scene, but he came back
after seemingly the longest drag race of all time, because he aged like 10 years and didn't even try to hide it.
Yeah,
that it wasn't.
I love that series comes back and like his hairline.
I'm not gonna lie. Fast and Furious 3, I avoided watching it for years because I never saw 1 through 4. But my dad being a critic, my mom couldn't go to 5, and I went with him, and I was hooked in the series from that moment on.
5
I think 5 was my first too. I need to go back
and
watch the other ones.
After that, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go watch these other ones. So I watched 1, I watched 2, and then I watched 4 because I'm like, man, 3 doesn't. I'm like, 3 has no tie-ins. This, that, and the other.
Where's Vin Diesel at?
I mean, he's there. He's there,
but he wasn't promoted. At least not to my knowledge.
Yeah. Excuse me. 7 is where Lucas Black comes back. Yeah,
7.
But like after 6 happened, at the end of 6, I'm like, shit. Now I gotta go watch Tokyo Drift. That and then I'm like, oh, I thought I hated 2. I'm like,
how can you hate 2?
2's horrible. 2's the worst.
2's really bad. I love John Singleton, but 2's really bad.
Yo,
2 is the worst one in that series. It is worse than Tokyo Drift, and I love Tokyo Drift.
Agreed.
Ooh. I'd flip those I've seen Too Fast and Furious probably more than anyone should, but it was on TV. It was on TV.
Chris, I got an idea. Ejecto seat, cuz.
The one just doesn't come back.
Fucking what was that? What was that line he had in the second one? That Paul Walker said. That don't worry about it, cuz. Like,
that's right, yeah.
It's iconic. Like, holy shit. But no, if there's no Fast and Furious questions, I think Ben will be fine. So, Matt, I'm assuming you're in the same boat.
Yeah, I already said it. It's Ben. Ben.
Yeah, it's damn. It should be flipped, but I get why they put it as the main event. The main event, and that's like
it's got the storyline behind, which I understand.
But I mean, those are all the matches that were announced to at least through March 26th. But there are 2 this weekend that Matt and I touched on last week. But of course, Chance, I would love your 2 cents on them because on top of the Black History Month match that's happening this weekend between you, Klee, Jay, and Janine. Yeah, 1408. Holy
1408.
Shit. But on top of that Black History Month match, we're getting 2 highly anticipated matches. Laura Kelly and Molly Damon, and Kanopik and Chandru, right? So just to start with Kelly and Molly Damon, who you got and why?
Oh, man. I guess I can't root for Laura Kelly anymore because she's not on my team. I mean, she's spiritually, but in reality, she's not on my team anymore.
Spiritually, yeah.
But yeah, so I still have Laura because I know. I mean, I've been working with her for the past season. I know how much she wants this, and it's gonna suck to see her go for it all under somebody else. But that's what we have. That's what we have to put up with to maybe get her back in the end. I'm okay with it. But yeah, I just think that, and I like Molly a lot too. I think it's gonna be a fun one. But I got Laura taking this.
No, and I think Matt and I, we both had Laura taking this too.
Yes.
I forget who said it in the chat, either Leo Logan or ASG, but I feel like the popular consensus of the first person to beat Alex this year is either Demolanta or Kelly. And both of them obviously have their chances at it. Demolanta having a title match in March, and Kelly, if she wins this, she'll get her shot at it as well. But Laura's been so highly touted and such a threat. Even talking to the Dragon Con players, when we had them on the show, I believe Thomas Harper, she's the most talked about Star Wars rookie. Even he's like, yo, yeah, Laura Kelly, like she's like
he puts her on the same tier as Alex. He said.
So like, and if the fans have anything to say about it, that's high praise coming from Thomas Harper. So it's going to be a good one. I'm really looking forward to that match, Damon and Kelly, because like Molly, especially now that she's with the Dungeon as well, another change of scenery, and plus I just want to see Damon versus Damon. Like that's something I would love to see one day. Will it happen anytime soon? If my prediction's correct, if our prediction's correct,
it'll be our first like actual. If she beats Alex, it'll be our first actual like belt handoff we get to see on screen for
right
since Atlanta last year.
So it'll be interesting as far as our predictions are concerned. We don't think it's going to happen, at least not yet, and we'll see what happens with Molly going forward. And for the Inner Geekdom title match, you just got done with the Inner Geekdom title match in December, and now Chanju's facing off against Mara Knopic, somebody who we haven't seen in a while in the movie Trivia Schmodown. Right. So, first of all, how are your thoughts on what are your thoughts on Mara Knopic? Because obviously you're a fan, like, you watched her, so how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I'm really good friends with Mara. She's fantastic. She's a really good friend of mine. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see like how not only coming back into this format, coming back into this division after like a 2-year absence.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's gonna be fascinating. Especially like both these people are gonna be responding to new environments. Like Mara coming back to this whole new game, and Chanju responding to all the new categories are going to be added to IG. Like, how is he going to handle things like Alien versus Predator, and like others are going to get added? So I'm curious to see like what these questions are going to look like. Cause like this is fascinating. I want to know how deep exactly we're going to get. So
right,
this could be interesting. This could be really interesting.
Because we've seen in the Schmodown history, where new categories get added, they may or may not be softballs within those categories, right?
Especially in IG, where like you're not really expected to be a softball off the bat.
Yeah, and it's a title match nonetheless. So not only is it IG, but it's a title match. So the questions are going to be top notch to start. And if that AVP one is true, and we're going to get AVP, then or Alien and Predator, then also.
Well, that is true. Alien Predator.
Okay, cool.
That is confirmed.
Okay, so like Alien and Predator, how's that going to work? Like you said, and are they going to get deep cutty off the bat? You know,
yeah.
Like obviously we've seen those.
I mean, SNL wasn't, so I don't know if this would be.
But that's singles though.
Yeah, true. Like Inner Geekdom's a whole different beast, and like if we're like Star Wars is already like super deep cutty, but Inner Geekdom's right behind them, and especially in those title matches and y'all's title match that you had in December, like I was like Matt and I were watching that, we're like, oh shit, like I forget how intense Inner Geekdom can be. Yeah. So seeing those new categories added, whatever the hell else they add, because Alien and Predator is already like what the hell. I get it, but still, like, okay, cool.
Again, as someone who's seen the new list, I understand the expansion. I'm not happy about some of the things I got to watch now, but I understand the expansion.
Because before the new slices, how many movies were in the
around?
Do we have a ballpark of that?
Like 200 to 300, maybe.
200 or 300. So now all these newer ones, there has to be like at least 100 movies being added, depending on how many.
Yeah, we're maybe looking like between like 3 and 4 now.
Yeah, so that's wild, you know. Like the geekiness of the Schmodown of that division just doubled, and Chanju, someone who's been running wild in this division the last year, like he's been on fire for better or for worse, depending on who you ask. Right. So, like you said, how is that going to translate to this match against Mara, and how's Mara going to translate to the new format and this new style of play? Because she hasn't met anybody like Chanju before in the ring, I should say. Leah Logan in the chat. Swag will win both on Friday.
TKO. Jesus.
Woo!
I think he's underestimating Mara, because Mara, you can't ignore the fact that Mara trained all of last year. She's still trained all of last year. She's probably right now your best bet to beat Challenger out of anyone in that division. No offense, Chance. I don't know if you're playing in it this year or not.
I mean, I am. I'm taking a backseat to it. So
yeah, that's what it seemed like. So right now, in my eyes, she may be your best bet because she's the wild card.
So. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, since Chance ain't there, Mars. Yeah, I totally agree with what you said, man. Like Chance obviously is the best competition that Challenger has, and Mars is right there. So, and since Chance is taking the back seat, rightfully so, then we'll see how Mara can do. And Mars is such a question mark to me. Because even players that have been away for so long, you can study. It's this new style of play, however. That's the difference.
Exactly.
And everyone had to adapt to that. Every single person had to change that up. Obviously, the people in the families had a leg up because they had done it before. Because, like, obviously that's how the families were and still are run. But it's not the Schmodown. Mark and Christian weren't the ones asking you questions. You know what I mean? So...
Exactly.
So now this new Schmodown that we're entering, and hopefully we get back into the studio sometime soon. Hopefully. But
get vaccinated.
Yes, please get vaccinated. But because I want to go to another live event so bad. So once Mara comes back, I'm so intrigued. I have Chandru winning this match. Like, do I want someone to topple the monster that is the Chosen? Yes, I do. But I don't think it's Mara. And if it is, then great. I'll come on this show and I'll clap it up the whole time. But I'm not feeling too good about it.
No, I'm with you. I want someone to topple Chandler. I think she's your best bet, so I'm going to say she's going to win. I'm hopeful.
Ooh.
Fingers crossed. And this is you're the corruption guy. I'm the swag guy, and I'm going against Winston here. So against my better judgment.
Word. And Chance, obviously you're friends with Mara and Chanju, that Chosen and that guy, right? That dude that we will not speak his name anymore. How like what do you feel about the match? Like who you got really?
Mark this day.
Shit.
Here's the thing. What the thing about Mara is the unknown quantity of it. That's what. If I were a gambling man, I wouldn't bet on March because I haven't seen enough of her in the last 2 years. Not to say she can't come out and press, because I fully think she can. She will. But because I know what Change is capable of, I would bet on him. But I do want Mara to win. So
I mean, we all want Mara to win.
we all want Mara to win. It's a matter if she will.
Is it? Do we want Mara to win or do we want Change to lose?
Like the second one.
Can't it be both? Can't it be both though?
It can't be both. It can't be both.
I mean, legally it has to be both in this case. But
legally, write it down.
I mean, like.
Yeah,
and no offense to how your partner handled it when he beat Mara, because it did rub a lot of people the wrong way how he handled it initially, including her, and that's that's why we saw that heavily edited post interview with her. Let's be honest, as a fan, you could sit there and be like, oh, there's a lot that we didn't
talk about marking the day. Holy shit! Like as a fan. And me, like I love Mike Kalinowski is one of my favorite competitors to watch. Like shit, the league. Christian gave him he put a face to the name, but the whole anarchy thing changed the Showdown forever. Yep. And like Mike was obviously the face of that. I'm like, yo, like Mike's dope. And when he beat Mara the way he did, and obviously how all that shit panned out, people are ready to poo-poo on Mike Kalinowski. To this day, people are still poo-pooing on Mike. I think it's unfair.
I told you before, I was a Mike Kalinowski fan before the heel turn. I prefer face Mike.
It's crazy to me because Mike's so much better as a heel. So much better.
I never said he was. No. I never said he face. I just liked him as a face more.
Oh, I definitely like him as a face. And Chance, I don't know if Mike was he had to have been a heel when you showed up.
Yeah,
he was a heel. When I showed up, he was heel.
Did you like babyface Mike Kalinowski?
I did like babyface Mike, but like I remember like seeing his turn. I'm like, oh shit,
it was so cool.
That's amazing. I still go back and watch that clip every now and then.
Yeah, turning on DC movie. It was DC Movie News, right? Like it was Laquasto and Gertler and Roxy. Oh god, it was so good. Like Captain America Mike was awesome, right? He was so cool and so cheery. Mm-hmm. But dude, once he became KO and corrupt, right? I think it was better for everyone involved. And obviously here we are talking with Chance. But no, this weekend's when the party gets started. We get 3 matches this weekend. One of them is exhibition, but still it's gonna be pretty damn cool seeing all y'all in the ring again. And damn, season 8's here, man. Chance, are you ready for war, dude?
Oh, but I was born ready for war.
Oh my god, I'm so stoked. Before we wrap, Chance, thank you so much for coming on the show, man.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
And the fact that you tolerated us for a whopping hour and 50 plus minutes is impressive. Honestly, it's impressive. So, you're welcome back anytime. Doors always open.
I'd love to be back at some point.
Hell yeah, brother. And you're gonna kick so much ass this year, and I can't wait to watch it, brother.
Thank you. Thank you.
But for everyone who watched, that's the show. So thank you for tuning in. Once again, follow us on all of our socials down there. Me at Watt Movies Matt, C. Anthony Lopez, and at Spin from the Real on Twitter. And I am Matt the Master Thomas. That is Chris the Personality Lopez. And this was another episode of Spin from the Real. Remember, folks, Spin from the Real, not the peg.